Let's very quickly here dive into House of David, Season 2, Episode 6. The title of the episode is Forged by Fire. Before we get to you guys, I got to say, best episode of the season.
Agree.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Because we have not talked about it at all, but I think hands down, best episode of the season. Creighton's looking at me like, I must have watched the wrong episode.
I am thinking that I must have watched the wrong episode.
I was wondering.
I thought it was an okay episode. But best episode of the season.
Okay, real quick. What was the episode about?
There was a lot of stuff going on. You had Jonathan getting married. You had David going and getting the foreskins, which was awesome.
Okay. This is the same episode. Same episode.
There was a lot of not torment, but a lot of friction between Saul's family with his wife, his daughters, his son, the concubine. Like I said, good episode.
Okay, you did see the episode.
Okay, it is the same episode.
Yeah, I say hands down best episode of the season.
Yeah, it was very dramatic on multiple angles. Multiple characters going through a lot. Like when Saul threw his wife out of the city, I was like,
at the end.
Oh, the action scenes alone, though.
Oh, yeah.
They were solid.
I think the ending I loved, where when Saul is losing his mind and throwing his wife out, and then
David's just like, yeah, I'm not marrying that one. I'm marrying this one. I was like,
I also really liked when the second son gives his mom a hug at the end.
Now you know what it feels like to be betrayed.
What it feels like to be betrayed by the people you love, and then walks away. And I was like, oh.
Real quick, let me say, we said something at the very beginning of the show. Like I articulated it that there was, like, I was going to judge the show by how they handled one particular thing, and that was David going and getting the foreskins of Philistines.
Which I was wondering the same thing, and they almost threw me off.
Almost did too.
Because Saul says, I want you to kill 100 of them. And I was like, oh, that's dumb. He
first said, I want you to go and destroy this metalworking place. And you're like, they're going to totally skip this. And then it was like, I want you to kill some people. And then it was like, I want you to get their foreskins. And you're like,
let's go.
Then when he throws the bag, and
then the sound it made.
And he's like,
hey, that was one of the scenes.
Did you get 100? And he's like,
no,
I got 200.
I got 200. You're like, totally biblical.
I expect a marriage announcement by tonight.
Yes, and then he walks. Dude, it was chucks the bag. I really enjoyed that, because that was one of the things that I was wondering. Is like, if you were to do this, how would you go about giving over your, like, I guess, sackcloth bag?
Your satchel
is your best bet.
You're not keeping the satchel.
No.
It's like a boiled peanut bag.
As soon as he threw it, I was like, I don't hate this at all.
No, I enjoyed that.
There's like a little
Oh yeah,
the sound it made when.
I think the correct term is sploshed.
Yeah,
It's sploshed.
Yeah. So first and foremost, best episode of the season. A few thoughts here, and then I'll with each one get you guys' thoughts. I like the Jonathan marriage storyline. It's not in the Bible, but Jonathan, like there's a later storyline where David will honor Jonathan, will make a covenant with Jonathan to treat his family and his kids with kindness, right? And in order for any of that, Mephibosheth to be a character, you would have to have Jonathan married. I still really, really love the way they've portrayed Jonathan. I think Jonathan, the way they portray Saul's great. The way they portray Jonathan is spot on. I think it's superb.
The conversation that Jonathan has with his wife about David being king was fantastic.
Yes.
I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
I will say with that scene, there was a missed opportunity.
Okay.
And much the same way that I enjoyed the tabernacle scene in, what was that, episode 3, maybe 4? Because it gave you insight into like how this Old Testament thing, like they illustrated, dramatized it. You could see it like, oh, that's a very cool way to see how this thing operated in 1000 BC. They could have taken the marriage of Jonathan. They could have given us insight into how a wedding would have functioned, how it would have occurred. I'm not like, and again, for the sake of time, you emphasize important things. They likely will spend maybe more time doing that with David and Michael. So it was just an editing decision. But I would love for them to dramatize like an old wedding like that. It's one of the things I like about The Chosen. They have a scene where Jesus is with the wedding of Cana. Mm-hmm. And they show how a Jewish wedding functioned, how it operated. Kind of a missed opportunity, but maybe I understand the decisions. You were going to say something, Spice.
No, that's something that one of the parts of the episode I was just like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with this aspect of it, just because it seemed like really quick rather than a long drawn out process, which most of the Jewish weddings.
Well, they would have been prearranged,
right?
But I mean, that was kind of the shock value, though. That's probably already happened with Jonathan with his first wife,
right,
who died of the disease.
I mean, you can see it when Jonathan gets home, and one of his sisters is like, "Let me guess, you're getting married," and he's kind of like, "Well, we
went to Vegas."
Yeah.
And you can see it on everyone else's faces, and they're all looking at Saul.
And I love the way
for
that Saul,
his response.
I loved it,
and he responds the way that a loving father should, which was awesome. I really enjoyed that as well.
Yes, and you know, I like that because here's the thing: is for all of Saul's faults, you can't write off everything about Saul. You know, Saul is a tragic story, but he had a relationship with Jonathan as well that was deep enough, real enough, sincere enough that Jonathan was willing to die with him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? For all of Saul's faults, his sons don't seem to be one from a biblical standpoint. Again, he raised a good son, you know, that loved the Lord and was honorable. Everything about the David and Michael, the way that's all playing out, even the subtleness of like where you're picking up on Michael's deep loyalty to her father, because that again plays out. Like she's in love with David, but she's got rose-colored glasses when it comes to her father. Like she perceives no wrong in him, you know, like, which will be a tear in that relationship later on. But the way that they have romanticized it, set it up, makes just how it all ends and unfolds even more brutal, you know.
Same thing with Mirab.
Right.
I think that Michael and Mirab are doing a great job. I think the actresses are doing a good job. They're doing a great job with their stories.
Yes.
You know what? The more I'm thinking about this episode, it's a really good episode.
Here's where, and Justin, you got to help me with this because maybe I'm just off because I don't know Hebrew. So one of the things that we've been doing, so I'm teaching a Harmony of the History series. We're still in the life of David at the very end of it. And then what we're doing as a supplement is we're releasing like these 10-minute videos called Psalms of the Histories. So any psalm that connects to a time of David's life and experience, because David was writing, producing, he was expressing himself through experiences. And we know that there were probably songs that he had written as a shepherd boy. There were definitely songs that he wrote during this season. I would love for them to, like, there's a scene where, you know, Saul tells him to go and gives him his marching orders, but then it's like, hey, before you leave, can you play for me? You know, and then there's like this sequence with Jonathan getting married where David is singing over it. I would love that he was actually singing an actual psalm. Is he? Is he not? Again, I don't know Hebrew. For all I know, but it seems like he's singing the same stupid Adonai song because it's over and over and over again. Adonai! Like, it's like a, I don't know.
It's the only Hebrew words the actor could memorize.
That could sing. Do you know? I mean, are you picking up on anything? Are they like actually maybe incorporating phrases from Psalms that maybe correlate to?
I haven't really been listening, and my Hebrew is not the strongest.
Okay, well, maybe
So
do a little
it's like-
research into that. See if that's happening. Because that would be a very cool thing if they're not doing it.
That would be a really cool thing to do.
Like later when David escapes, he's in the cave of Adullam, and there's like specific psalms he writes there.
Like,
to actually have him writing some of those.
I think the only one I paid attention to was in the first season when he first started singing. Was it the Song of Moses? Like that was the one that I was like listening to like thoroughly and like understood.
And it was really cool that when he played the Song of Moses and sang it, it was the Song of Moses.
It's the Song of Moses.
And like the other ones, I just haven't really. I just enjoying the melodies, but like I haven't really paid attention to the lyrics.
Again, the development of certain things. They gave the backstory of Uriah, where they talk about him being the Hittite, and that he made a decision to stay. They asked, well, why did you stay here?
Because our gods are gods of stone and yours is the living God. That was such a cool line.
Yes.
I really like that.
But
too.
I mean, they're again laying the groundwork.
And boy, is it going to suck when David screws him over.
Yeah.
Man, that guy's awesome.
Speaking of that, though, related to it, not necessarily like a biblical, like we don't know how the David foreskin Philistine attack all went.
Right.
But they're like, again, developmentally, they're deepening the connection with Jonathan, but they're also deepening the loyalty of Joab, because Joab is like, he sees the dove, the pigeon gets released, and he goes to Doeg,
He
finds out.
sniffs that out real fast.
Yes, and he's like, something is wrong, and he takes it upon himself to go to Jonathan and say, we got to go. And then I love this scene where when David says, no to 100, but I got 200, and like Saul looks at Joab, and Joab, standing there all like rough, the scar on his face, and he's like, I'll confirm that, like there is the development of this deep loyalty to David. Again, the development of his mighty men.
Well, not just that.
I like it. It's just, again, it was a great episode.
Was it the King of Gath when he's fighting
with
them all on his
Achish.
own?
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, let the gods decide. And then he was like, Giant Slayer, who why are your
king
kings betrayed you?
Why are
He's
you
like,
still
no,
fighting
this
for
guy
him?"
has the anointing of their god.
And you know that David will at some point have to flee Israel. And where does he go?
He'll Achish, the king of Gath.
He'll go to Gath, kind of get into trouble, will feign like he's mad. Achish is like, well, that's not the guy I remember. But then David will come back later with like an army and basically become a mercenary for the Philistines in Achish, where Achish wants to take him into battle against the Israelites.
Which makes sense in the story because he knows that he's anointed by God and
taking him against Saul.
Right.
Again, they are.
They're setting up the backstory. Like
They're doing a good job with it.
they're doing a really good job.
I am very pleasantly surprised with it. If you haven't checked out House of David, it's on Amazon.
It's a wonder project, yes.
As Zach has mentioned before, I think that the age should be like
$8, but
right. But the age is like 13 or up ish.
No,
Like,
I mean we watch it with
would you say-
Theo. Theo's
Okay.
10, 11, because again there's violence, but at the same time, it's biblical. And it's not gory. It's done very tastefully.
The way they're handling this, I'm thinking about writing them and get them to maybe take on another project of one of our good friends, Galaxy's Edge series.
Oh,
I bet they
Galaxy's
do.
Edge
I bet they would
adaptation.
do
it's
a
not
really
Galaxy's Edge. It's Destiny's Edge.
Sorry,
You butchered the actual name.
it's because
I'm so sorry, Lee.
I'm sorry, Lee.
He is just the
Oh
worst.
man.
My goodness, that is
It's been a very long week for me.
One final point, and then I'm gonna give a
But I'm
shout
halfway
out.
through book 5.
But yeah, well, you just called it the wrong title.
Man,
like you
it's
got the
been-
wrong series
I've had
name.
almost zero.
My
No
goodness.
Oh,
sleep
that's
this
a lot of
week, and
excuses. I will say, I hope we are done with Saul's wife. I think that she's been too much. It's a criticism that I have. I don't think that's historically accurate, even for the time period. I don't think women had that much influence. I don't think biblically, there's no indication she had that much influence. It's almost like they're letting Saul a little off the hook by making her so bad and so vindictive, and like she even's like, you need to kill David. It's like, I don't know if that came from her. Like, again, maybe the final scene where the doors close and maybe she's gone, and I would be fine with that.
I still really like the idea that when it comes to the very last thing that Saul does, that he comes back to his wife, who has been, I think it would be a really good way to tie that in a bow.
See, I don't think,
which is that
I don't
he
think
goes
they will.
to find
I don't think they
a
will.
witch, and he finds his wife because he knows that she consorts with witches.
But it's Abner. He'll go through Abner because it's the witch of Endor, his mother.
That's also
So they've
true.
already pivoted away from that. I think they're writing her out of the show, honestly. It's the sixth.
very real
It's
possibility.
the sixth episode. There's only 8. You start getting into contracts, and
Yeah.
she's not necessary at all in any context to the show, especially moving forward.
I mean, not at this point.
Like, she's not a biblical character. In fact, the concubine is more of a character later in life because David will go to and take her sons and give them to the Gibeonites. So, I mean, there's...
That's the concubine's sons? I thought
Yeah,
that was
it's the-
Mirab's sons.
And Mirab's sons, but it's Ritzpah,
Gotcha.
which they name her a little differently here. And it's Mirab's sons that Michael is now taking care of, which deepens that even more. Anyway, Destiny's Edge, fantastic. I just finished book 3. I want to give a shout out to Lee. Check it out on Amazon. Fantastic. In the middle, like I was at the end of book 3, I read a page and like dropped him a text. It was like, that's the best thing I've read that you've written. And what I loved about it, and this is the thing, there is a, these are not Christian books per se, but there's a Christian theme and ethic underneath it all. And this was a moment that element was front and center. Loved it. It was done tactfully. It was organic, fit within a story arc. It was powerful. It was powerful.
So we've talked. You told me about this after you read
Yeah.
it, because I have not gotten there, and
You're still not halfway through the first book.
it's true.
We got the guy
but
that's not reading them.
as
We've got
we
the guy
were-
that doesn't know the name of the series.
When you told me about
Vinny.
it, I've been thinking.
You got to get
about
with
it.
me here.
Right.
And I'm actually not sure if I've ever read that kind of thing before.
So I have a lot. Joel Rosenberg books are like, in fact, Joel Rosenberg books, which are, again, not sci-fi, but like Indiana Jones thrillers type of a thing. Indiana Jones meets Jack Bauer, but the main character is always a Christian and has his faith. And like, there'll be like scenes where like the one of the, like a character's actively witnessing to another character. When there's actually scripture, being like 3 or 4 pages, I skip them. Because I get to it, it's like, I'm saved. I know what's going on here. Let me get back to the
See, that's what I'm saying. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you write that without it coming off as
Preachy.
pedantic. I don't know if I would go with preachy. I would go with, what is the word I'm looking? for?
it's okay. It's okay when it's done.
Pedestrian.
It's fine. Like, I think Joel Rosenberg does it well. It's great. Lee is taking a totally different approach. And up until this point, like, the faith of the main character, his faith in Jesus, is acknowledged. It's alluded to. It's part of the complicated nature of what he's doing, and like the ethics behind it all. Like, there's a lot of like how to deal with pain and suffering, loss. It's very much in the story. So don't get me wrong. It's not like it
doesn't come out of the blue.
Yes, it doesn't come out of the blue, but this one particular page, he does it. It's brilliant. It's really brilliant.
I'm very excited to read it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.